Hank, I think your mic is muted.
And I hope everybody's good at lip reading because I was saying a whole monologue and nobody understood exactly what I was saying. What I was saying is, I think this is like our second or third ever live stream event that we've had because we normally do it through Zoom webinar, and we're broadcasting to three different platforms at once: Facebook, YouTube, as well as in LinkedIn. So if you're watching right now, I know a couple of you are, go ahead and let us know in the comments where you're watching. We'd love to hear where you're watching us from. And this is unscripted, folks. We're going to have a lot of bloopers probably that people are going to make fun of us about. But what we're here to do today is talk to you about email marketing, most importantly, list growth. And let's introduce your speakers. And my name is Hank Hoffmeyer. I'm the Senior Manager of Marketing and Operations at iContact. And I've been with the organization for 12 years, and I've held many different positions. And I've done something like this before via webinar, but it'd be great to talk about some new ways to grow your list. And I'm joined today by Mackenzie Foley. She is our content manager. She helps put the awesome content that you probably see on TikTok, Instagram, all the channels. Mackenzie, thanks for joining me today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Happy to be here. Well, like Hank said, my name is Mackenzie Foley. I'm the content manager at iContact. I joined pretty recently. I'm fairly new, end of July, and we're just having a great time, like learning the company, learning more. I love constantly being able to pick up skills with social media and content and learning a lot and having a great time. So
Learning is always great, and that's why most people join us for our webinars or watch our videos, because they want to learn about digital marketing. I went to a conference last week, Digital Summit, and it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And they have digital summits throughout the country, but this one was right in our backyard. What was great was meeting a lot of different marketers from different industries and talking to them about the challenges and the successes they have with email marketing. Then I got on stage and talked about email marketing deliverability. Now, folks, if you're watching, keep in mind, you can ask any questions about email marketing or digital marketing, and we'll try to answer them the best we can. Really, this session is for you. Get those questions ready. Go ahead and put those in the comments. We'd love to hear what questions you have. And we're going to go ahead and really just talk about email list growth along the way and give you some ideas, tips, tricks, hints, whatever you want to call it. But one thing is, make sure to follow us on all the social media channels so that you can hear about what we're doing, our next events, and more importantly, more tips and tricks. And our website is icontact.com. With that, let's talk about list growth. Email marketing, which is what iContact does, is one of the best ways you can market your business. In my opinion, email marketing is very powerful because it feels like a one-on-one conversation. I can send an email to 1,000 people, but make it feel like a one-on-one conversation by personalizing the email, injecting the first name, whether it's in the subject line or in the email. I don't know about you, but if I'm out in a crowd and somebody says, Hank, and they're calling my first name, it makes me feel important. Maybe they know me, or maybe they know another Hank, but it just makes me feel important because I've heard my name. Now, I've mistakenly heard hey as Hank, and I turn around and I'll say, hey, how are you? And they're like, do I know you? And that's a little awkward, but that happens from time to time. But email marketing, it's cheap. It allows you to send messages in bulk. Like I said, that makes it feel like a one-on-one conversation. You could target people and you could build a relationship with people. And another important aspect is that you own the subscribers that you acquire. Sure, yeah, you upload them to platforms like iContact or another platform, but it's portable. You can always download that list and bring it wherever you want to. If you're on Instagram and you say or do something wrong, you can get banned and you lose all those followers, all those subscribers. We'll probably talk in a little while about ways to convert your social audience into email marketing, which is a great way to grow your list. The first and foremost, what do you want to call that? Historic way to add subscribers to your list is have a sign up form on your website or a landing page. Well, Hank, I don't have a website yet. I just started my business, or I have to go through my website administrator. It's going to take me 6 months to get a website built or a page built just for the form. That's okay. We have you covered. At iContact, we have a landing page editor. You can go in and create a landing page and put a sign up form on there. And the beauty of using our landing page and or our sign up form, which you can embed the sign up form on your website as well, is it automatically goes right into your iContact account. And then from there, you can just start sending messages. And if you've ever heard me talk, when you acquire a subscriber, you should automatically send them a welcome message so that they feel special and, more importantly, remember you and not mark your message as spam. So Mackenzie, so we talked about, the best way to get subscribers. Is there anything going through your mind as far as any ways to get email subscribers onto your list?
I think another great way, of course, I work on social media, is those landing pages are really important and the signups are really important, but also letting people know if you have like a newsletter they can sign up for. Blast that on social media, tell people about it, spread the word around about your brand, about what you guys do, and start building a relationship. One of the biggest things that I believe as a marketer is that we support sales and sales supports marketing in a way. And for me, like the biggest thing with sales right now is it's really all about relationship selling. And I think that that really translates into the marketing side. And so when you're trying to bring people in as a marketer, you want to build those relationships. And like you said, the email, it makes it feel like it's one-on-one, which really, really supports that that whole relationship building aspect. Super, super important for, I mean, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, and a really, really big part of email marketing.
Yeah, building that relationship is very important because you need to get people to trust you. I don't know if you've ever heard the term KLT, know, like, and trust. People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
Email, right? You drive traffic to your website, say from pay-per-click, social media, SEO, word of mouth. They're going to see your website. They're going to see your branding. They're going to know you. They're going to know who you are. And if they like the content on your webpage, or maybe they like what you're doing on social media, what you're trying to do is get them to trust you with their email address. It's a bit of personal information that they're giving up, and they don't want spam. They don't want emails that don't resonate with them, or it's not anything that they want. They're trusting you to provide value to them. And a great book to read is called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about offer value, offer value, offer value, then go in and ask for the conversion. Same thing with email marketing. The book is based on social media, but you can convert that to email marketing. And that's something you need to be doing. And speaking about social media, don't forget to take a link of your landing page or a sign up form and put that in your social media accounts and say, hey, we have more information via email that we want to send you. Sign up for our newsletter. Or it could be our new flavors, our new products, our new tips, whatever it is that you do, you can offer that first through email marketing to get more people to sign up there. Hey, I want to be in the VIP club and get more information so that I can buy whatever it is you're selling. Like whenever Apple comes out with a new product and I'm like, shut up, take my money, here's my card, right? You wanted to get them to have FOMO and get them to do business with you. Any other ideas, Mackenzie?
I mean, I couldn't agree more with everything you said. I just think that the coordination, especially now between social media and email, is it's so direct that it's so easy to be able to use social media as a vessel to get people to your email. Not only are people able to, go to your website and go to icontact.com and say, oh, I'm going to sign up for an account today, but they can go to our social medias, kind of get a better idea of who we are before they sign up. And again, just kind of really start building that relationship. I think that's so important nowadays in order to, again, support sales and for people to really get to know your brand.
Like we said, KLT, get to know your brand.
Yep.
I'm looking at my notes and there's just so much that we can go over. You can write blog posts. At the end of the blog post, you can say, did you like this article? Sign up to be alerted when there's new articles. And what you might do there is segment people that sign up through that page or through the blog articles and only send them blog articles, and maybe sprinkle in some other items you have, because if they're interested in your blog articles, you don't want to be selling them your fuzzy widgets, right? Ask them for permission to do that. Say, we also sell fuzzy widgets. Do you want to get information about discounts on fuzzy widgets? And maybe I'm the first to ever say fuzzy widgets. I know widgets has been used, but I don't know. I think I've had a little bit too much caffeine today. You can also guest blog on other blog articles or sites, right? If you find a site that is complementary to what you do, reach out to their production team, their content team, or use their contact form. Say, hey, I'd love to write an article for your website. Can you please let me write an article? And at the end, you can link to your website. And then again, you have the sign up form on your website. There's also what we call pop-up forms, which maybe you've seen on our website if you're an iContact customer and you're watching this right now. And that's how you joined us today. After 15 seconds, or after you went to close the browser or go to maybe Amazon to do some shopping, you saw a pop-up and it asked you to sign up to come to today's session. Then there's exit intent technology, which is, like I said, if you go to leave the site or the tab, it prompts you to sign up. It's a great way to get people to sign up. It's easy on WordPress and there's some other sites, but if you're using something specific and you have any questions, let us know. And mentioning that, don't forget to drop your questions, information, knowledge, comments into the comments, and we'll talk about them. Hey, maybe we'll even put your question on air. I can bring it up magically and text on the screen. So go ahead, folks. Those that are watching, if you have any questions or anything, let us know. Mackenzie, other ideas? Let's keep the ball rolling here.
Oh gosh, there's so many ideas that pop into my mind when it comes to email marketing. I think the best thing too is just having, I'm a content manager. So what's important for me is really focusing on being intentional in what you're putting in your emails, because not only, do you want people to trust you and like you and want to and be on your list and be there for a while, but you want what you're sending them to be meaningful. So what, I guess, advice would you have for new users who are starting email marketing, how to make sure that their content is intentional? I think that's really important.
It comes down to your brand and making sure that you're thinking about your audience and not you as a business owner or marketer. A lot of times, even I fall into this trap. Oh my God, I created this piece of content. It's so awesome. The world just has to see it. They're going to love it like I do. And they don't, because it's what I think is great. You need to look at your audience. Is it a certain demographic? Is it mostly males? Is it mostly females? Is it something related to small business owners? What is it that would resonate with that audience and make them feel like they want to be in the know and they want to get those emails? Now, retail is pretty easy because everybody just wants deals. They want to know about good products. Is it reliable? Is it cheap or affordable? Or is it going to give me more value if I spend more money? That's a little bit easier. But when it comes to putting content, make sure it's valuable. Don't just say what you want to say. Solve a problem, meet a need. People like to buy. They don't like to be sold to. I always like to remember that. Same thing with me. I can give the best sales advice in the world to sales reps, but I verbally vomit on people because I always want to talk about like how great iContact is and what we do. Really, I should be asking questions. The same thing in an email. We can say, are you struggling to grow your business? And probably everybody in the stream will say, well, yeah, we're struggling to grow our business because we can't get new leads. We can't convert those marketing leads, or I'm not unable to get a new home to clean if you're a house cleaner, right? What it comes down to is, if you're a house cleaner, do you hate having a dirty house? And your audience will go, yeah, I hate having a dirty house. And just say, we know it's hard to find time and the right products to clean your house effectively and all the time. Let us help you by giving you a 20% discount on your first cleaning. Like I said, probably horrible. I'm a bad salesperson. But if you take the pain that somebody has or ask them a question, let them resonate with you, then they start trusting you, they start liking you, and that's where they start to convert. You can also do webinars like Mackenzie and I are doing today, whether it's a webinar or live stream. Get in front of the camera, get some content out there. And while you're doing it, say, would you love to sign up for our newsletter? Go to xyz.com/newsletter. And what I want to ask you to do is go to iContact.com/monthly-newsletter. We just relaunched it, folks. We're so excited that we're relaunching our newsletter because we need to eat our own dog food, right? We need to do email marketing because we're an email marketing company. So go to iContact.com/monthly-newsletter and you'll be signed up for our newsletter. Right now, it's once a month. We don't want to overload you, but we want to give you more awesomeness like we are today. And again, folks, anybody new that joined us, I saw a couple of people did, drop your comments in. If you have any questions about email marketing, digital marketing, we're going to answer those live on screen. We're here to help you. Let's talk about some other ideas. Let's say you're a brick and mortar or you ship products out. You can put a URL or QR code to your sign up page on packing slips. You can use your email signature. Maybe in your thank you or order emails or your shipping emails, you could put a QR code or a link to your sign up page. All these things are great. Receipts, right? I can go to a restaurant and I could pay just by scanning the receipt with my phone. Why not have an option to scan a QR code and or put in a text code or something and sign up for an email newsletter? Work with partners too. Somebody, maybe one of your vendors, have them help promote you so that you get more email addresses. All right, Sandy has a question. She wants to know, what about an artist? Now, I could talk about artists in general, but maybe, hey, I need to be a good salesman here, right? What kind of artist are you, or what do you do, so that I can maybe give you a little bit more of a better answer that gives you more value? So go ahead if you get a chance and follow up to that. But I'll start talking from the perspective of an artist. With being an artist, hopefully you're creating things that are visual. People love that. They're going to eat that up all day long. If you just finished a project, say it's a painting, right? If you're a painter, I don't know yet because you didn't put that in the comments yet, but you could take pictures of your work, right? Or the how to. Here's how I did it. Maybe you have a GoPro and you can do a time lapse and show you actually creating that project, which to me would give more value to it. Maybe I'd pay more if I saw how you actually created it and all the labor that you put into that piece of work. So hopefully that answered that question. But yeah, I think it's showing off what you do, how you do it, and then also, like, what are you doing in your community? If you're a local artist, what are you doing in the community? We want to build that relationship with you and see what
Mm.
you're doing out and about. But to get people to sign up is you're going to have a page that talks about, here's some upcoming pieces. Here's where I'm going to be. If you want to stay in the know, fill out this form and I'll be sending you an email. Tell them once a week, once a month, whatever it is. All right, so let's show this on screen. So you saw helping an artist with marketing, and it's mostly landscapes, and we've got a website set up. So yeah, definitely have a sign up form on the website. So it's an artist with landscapes. I used to own a landscaping business in a former life. So I'm trying to think of artist and landscapes. Interesting. Is it like design maybe? If it is, show off that design or show off the skills and examples. So yeah, get people to say, hey, do you want this? We know you probably can't do that. Yeah, it does landscape. Let's say it's hardscapes. Let's say it's a wall, right? Like a retaining wall. Take pictures of those retaining walls and all those things. And then the best thing for service providers, which I would put landscapers into service providers, is how to. Years and years ago when YouTube was really young, there was a plumber. He went on YouTube and he showed people how to unclog their toilet very easily, because you could pay a lot of money to have your toilet unclogged. But he put out a video showing people how to do it for free, and people got annoyed with him and said, why are you doing this? You're taking money away from yourself. Well, they're going to remember that I gave them value by helping them unclog their toilet. But when their basement floods, they're going to remember me and call me. Oh, paints landscapes, even better. Oh my God, there's so much more there because you have the videos of time lapses, you have examples, you could do interviews and just talk about the passion that this painter has, this artist has, so that they get interested and want to follow them. And because Instagram should be a huge channel for that person, right? And then they're putting out a lot of examples of what they're doing. And every now and then, just talk about having that sign up form. And Mackenzie, probably using stories, because you could put links into the stories, right?
Mhm.
To say, hey, sign up for my newsletter, link right here.
Well, and I was going to say, I think that with an artist, and especially for someone who paints, art is an expression of who you are. So take that holistic approach and use that to market your artwork. Tell people about the motivation, like Hank said, behind why you created that piece. You'll hear me say, like, be intentional a lot, because I really feel like when you take that approach and people can see your intention, that's where that connection forms. And so whether it's on a website, whether I saw you mention setting up an Instagram account, that would be huge. Like Instagram Reels, you could post Reels and TikToks about the process, the creative process, just not even the creative process. Once it's done, you could show your artwork and really just spill your heart out and express yourself like you did in that piece. So
hopefully that was helpful. I know I went down a rabbit hole a little bit there and strayed away from painting landscapes, I went right to hardscapes, which, because I used to own a landscaping company. But I'd love to see some of those examples. So send us some links, or if you have, in the comments so everybody can see it. And then, well, maybe wait until you have the page up, right, where people can sign up, then drop a link. But yeah, no, we'd love to see anything that's going on for that artist right now. But yeah, I think it'd be great to work with an artist, because you're going to create that, oh, somebody else has something like this. I want that too. I want to work with this person because they're very, well known in the area or something like that. Do a lot of content pieces, but save a lot of the important content, like the how to or the behind the scenes, to be announced or explained in the email, so that they choose email over Instagram. Also, I had a landscape company in the past. So yeah, he moved on in life. I went on to email marketing, and he went on to artistry, right? Okay.
Well, if he ever goes back to physical landscapes, you know what to do. So
awesome. Anybody else have any questions? Want to talk about, a certain business that you're in where you want to grow your list? Because you should be using Pinterest, you should be using Instagram, you should be using all the channels that are out there. Maybe start a podcast, and in a podcast mention that you have a newsletter, and then be on podcasts. I mentioned guest blogging. You can also be on other people's podcasts, share your experience, and then tell people about your newsletter, or at least drive them back to your website and have that pop-up that comes up and asks people for an email. A lot of people always say it's hard to grow an email marketing list. Well, it is if you're not intentional about it. You need to work at it and drive people back to your website. It's like, if you build a website, they will come. Well, not if you don't have SEO, not if you don't do advertising, or have really, really cool people that follow you that drive people back to your website and recommend and refer you all the time. So yeah, building an email list is important, and it can be as easy as you make it. Mackenzie, any other ideas?
gosh, I mean, we covered landscape, both painting and physical. So I feel like we've really covered a lot there. I'm not sure. I mean, really just, again, like, I guess I get repetitive because it's so simple, but it's one of those things that it's like, I guess easier said than done, where it's like, be intentional. But then there's a whole rabbit hole you get down with, well, what do I have to do to be intentional? How do I be intentional? How do I know that my intentions are coming across in an email or a landing page? So, I mean, that I could go on and on and on forever, you know me, but yeah, I see we have another question come through about bounced emails. So I think actually that's a great topic to go on.
Sure. So this is an area that a lot of people don't pay attention to, or more importantly, negative things that happen to an email. So how do I deal with bounce emails? Depending on what you're talking about, it's hard to unbounce emails. All right. There's two categories of bounces. And the first one is called a soft bounce. This, number one, does not affect you negatively in any way. And I'll talk about that in a moment. A little teaser, a little FOMO, so you stick around, right? Well, the soft bounce is the email mailbox is full, or the server's temporarily down. We all know that, like, AWS goes down every now and then. The internet just has these weird days where, it got up on the wrong side of the bed, and websites tend to go down. If you try to send an email at that point, it may soft bounce. Temporary issue, mailbox is full. If you look at the diagnostics or the export of your bounces, you'll see these. And iContact, we offer it. Almost any provider will offer it. Just look at those codes. It's a variant of what we call a 400 area. It's like, it's 400 dot something or 440 dot something. It starts with a 4. Immediately, hopefully, because the servers are the ones that code it. Sometimes they can take a 500, code it as a 400, or a 400, 500. But a 400 code is temporary. It's okay. You don't have to unbounce those, because iContact doesn't put them into what we call permanent bounce status. We'll keep trying them. But at some point, if the mailbox is full and you keep sending to them for 6 months and it's always full because they just don't check that email address, you may want to look at those and actually remove them from your email list. Now, the 500 errors, or what we call permanent failures, they hurt your ability to get emails delivered to the inbox. Who knew we'd be talking about email deliverability today rather than list building? But it is important. It's another aspect of email marketing that marketers don't pay attention to. Every time you send an email, there's good things and bad things that happen. When I do webinars or I'm doing a speech from stage, I love to ask people, what are good things that happen and what are bad things that happen? And I don't want to sit here and make everybody wait for all those replies. But good things are opens, clicks, forwarding, replying, and then there's a term called TINs. I actually just posted a video on my social media channels talking about this term, TINs. This is not spam. In Gmail, if somebody goes in and your message is in spam and they go in and say it's not spam, Gmail considers that to be a high form of engagement, very high, more than opens, more than clicks. Well, let's talk about the negative things. An email bounce or not valid, permanent failure, marking the message as spam, unsubscribing, and more importantly, folks, yes, ignoring your emails is actually a negative form of disengagement or non-engagement, whatever you want to call it. They're not engaging with it. It hurts your domain reputation. Think of it like a credit score. Every time bad things happen, it brings your credit score down. The good things bring it up. At some point, let's say your score is like 60 out of 100, just making up a number because nobody knows what it is. More of your emails tend to go to spam. That's why bounces are important. Kurt, this is like the longest answer to a question ever, right? But iContact and most providers automatically remove those hard bounces so that they do not affect you negatively and you keep sending to them. You do not want to unbounce them unless you know that that email is actually valid. If it's valid and you know you can email to it, our support team can help you, but otherwise leave them alone. They don't count towards your subscriber count, your contact count, and they'll never hurt you again. They'll never, ever hurt your little heart again by sending to them and then you don't get it and don't open it. But hopefully that answers the question. That was like the longest answer ever for what could be a simple question, but I want to arm you and everybody else listening with that information. So another tip I was going to say right before, oh God, now I lost my train of thought. You can use influencers as well to grow your list. Oh, in-person events. This one's important to talk about. It actually ties into Kurt's question because it's important to make sure you have valid email addresses. Let's say you have a table at a conference and you're a sponsor. People are coming up, and the only way that you have to get email addresses is either with a fishbowl by people putting in their cards to win a candy bar or something, or you have a piece of paper and people are going to fill out a form to get your emails. There could be errors with the transcription, right? When you copy it down into Excel or write into iContact, or if you're taking it from the business card, or maybe the scan is wrong. If you have one of those apps on your iPhone, maybe there's something where the email address is spelled wrong. It will be a bounce and it will hurt you at that point. That's why it's always important to make sure you have accurate data. Also, speaking of, if you're at a conference or somebody comes up to you in the street and says, "Psst, hey, I got a list, 1 million email addresses, $500. Don't be tempted to buy that list, or use a third-party list that say you got from a trade show or conference, because these people do not have KLT. They don't know you. They may or may not like you. They don't know yet. And they're probably not going to trust you because they probably never heard of you up until this point. You send them that first email, majority of them are probably going to bounce. Many people are going to mark as spam. If they're nice enough, they're going to unsubscribe. Or what did I say earlier? They're going to ignore your emails. It actually hurts you more to use a third party or purchase list than actually it does to help you. But yes, you can collect email addresses at counters if you're a retailer. You can use an iPad. You can spin up an iContact landing page on an iPad or a Kindle Fire to let people fill it out and get added to your iContact account. So Mackenzie, I think we were kind of almost exhausting a long list of ways to grow your email marketing list. Is there any other ways that you think would be helpful? And again, if you have questions, folks, go ahead and drop them into the comments.
I don't have a ton of ideas for you. I mean, I'm still learning, and I'm sure a lot of people are, about email marketing and how things work. And, you know, the credit score was a great example of just how to imagine when you're sending an email. It's not just you set up an email list and you hope for the best. You know, you really have to make sure that you're nurturing it. And so that's something that I'm definitely going to add to my notes as I continue to learn. But you know, it is my first live event with iContact, so I'm waiting for some friends to show up in the comments here. If anyone has any more questions, I mean, what did we drink for breakfast this morning? Like, did we have coffee? Did we have like tea? Like, someone say hello, say what's up. And yeah, I'm interested to kind of hear from others and tell us what kind of businesses you work in, what kind of Do you own a business? Do you work for a business? Do you want to become a business owner?
Are
Just
you
tell us.
using email marketing, or are
Are
you just
you?
getting into it? That's a good
Yeah,
question.
yeah. I want to hear all the things. So, because I mean,
Yeah.
we can go on and on and on about all of the things with email, but I definitely want to connect with, like I've said, I love the relationship building side of it. And so I want to hear from anyone who's watching and hear like how could we help you if you have any questions, again, over email marketing, digital marketing, what can we do to help?
And if Mackenzie didn't inspire you to leave a comment, what was your favorite tip? Maybe that's something you can put into the comments so we know it was important to you. Which list building idea was the best? Because we can also talk about some other things, right? Sign up forms. We said in order to collect email addresses, you should have a sign up form. Okay, well, what do you collect, right? If I sell sneakers, I'm a sneaker fan. Some people know that, some people don't, but I love bright colored sneakers, especially when I'm talking on stage. It's just this thing I have. But let's say I sell sneakers and I have a sign up form. And I ask Mackenzie for her first name, last name, the model of the car she drives, last year's taxes, her favorite color, if she has any children, and the ages of those children, and maybe the last 4 digits of her social security number. Do you think she would give that to me for a 20% off coupon? Probably not. But there are two things. Well, there's really one bit of information you need to be able to start a relationship through email, and that's the email address. I would take that further and say to develop a relationship, the only thing you need is a first name and an email address. And if folks that were on earlier or from the beginning remember, you could use the first name to personalize the email. Hey, Hank, we have new floral pattern sneakers just for you. And then there's something called the pre-header, or an extension of the subject line. If you don't know about that, very powerful. Hey, Hank, we have new floral sneakers for sale. Free shipping on orders $50 or more would be the pre-header, which gives you an extension of your subject line. Now, I have seen restaurants get away with asking for more information. If they ask me for what birthday month I have, when's my birthday, I'm going to give that to them, because I don't know about you, but I love free food, or at least a discounted meal. And most restaurants will give that to you just by providing your date of birth, or at least the month, right? It's like Starbucks, right? They give you a free drink around your birthday. I knew there was a guy that signed up for it. What was it? 52. He signed up for 52 Starbucks cards so he can have a free drink every day. I don't know how he managed it, but he played he played that game and he won for a little while until they caught on. But yeah, he had a free drink every day. I wouldn't say manipulate the system, but depending on what industry you're in, you may or may not be able to collect more information to further engage with your audience. Now, you can always ask for more information later, like through a survey, or ask people to update their profile. So we're getting some more information. So Kurt, thank you for the feedback, saying it was a good explanation of soft and hard bounces. I tend to get long-winded about that, but we won't go there. All right. Susan's asking, she has a proofreading editing business. We can have fun with that one, right?
I love proofreading.
Right. Number one, I would take a look at what Grammarly's doing, right? Like they probably have fun, point out mistakes, or purposely mistype your first sentence in your message and say, did you catch that? Because their brain probably didn't. And just say, that's what I'm here to do, is to help you look professional. Maybe you didn't catch the error, but your readers, your audience, your customers might. Any other ideas for Susan?
Oh my gosh, so many. It's so funny. I was watching this TikTok. Actually, Hank, I think you sent it to me. And I really think for a company like that, using emails to engage customers, like Hank said, was a great example of, misspelling things and getting people really looking and being like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be? And then they're like, oh yeah, that was smart. I was watching this TikTok about content, and it was talking about how you can use examples like that, or you could use examples like tips and tricks, or go through, again, like being the person behind the business, if that's what you do as well. Or you could go through, let's see, like other examples and pull things from just kind of all over to really help educate people on the subject or the product or the service that you offer. So gosh, there's so many ways that you could content wise, coming from a content manager. And I really think that your email list would be about engaging people to get interested in proofreading and editing and educating, in a sense. if that helps. I hope it
And
does.
Susan, another thing you could do is on your website or on your landing page, you can have what's called a lead magnet. And this is where you would offer something so that people would give you their email address, right? And it could be top 10 mistakes people make when writing content and how to overcome them or something like that. And you ask for the email address and first name, and then people sign up for it and get it, and you have the email address, and that's where you can start giving them tips over time, information. Remember, jab, 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 right hook. And if you weren't here for that earlier, it's where you provide value, provide value, provide value, then you ask for the money, right? You ask for the conversion. But yeah, a great way to get people to sign up is a lead magnet. We actually put out, I don't know if there's any small business owners on the call, but we put out a small business growth playbook. It's 87 pages and has tips from 40 email and digital marketing experts. I'm actually one of them. I don't know if I'm an expert, but they let me in and put me onto the document. But we can definitely get you a link. I'm going to let Mackenzie talk for a minute and further about that, and I'm going to grab the link for that so everybody has it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the growth playbook for small businesses. I know it sounds like a lot, 87 pages. You're like, oh, I'm not that long, so that's 87 pages. But let me tell you, it is 87 pages of everything that you need to help you grow a small business. I mean, it was something that I think I have a pretty short attention span, and I got through it and read it and was like, wow, if I wanted to start a small business right now, I feel like I would have everything I need to do that. So, if you're looking just for something and you think you have an idea of where you're going, but you just want a little bit more confidence, a little bit more support behind you, just take a look. It's free to download, and it's really interesting. Honestly, it's there to help. It's just great to add to your tool belt, and it doesn't hurt to have it. And again, it's free, so check it out.
I put a link into the comments. I know it sometimes doesn't go to all the channels, but hopefully it made it to you if you're watching. Again, what we do is we ask for your name and email address, and we're going to do exactly what we were talking about today, where we're going to send you an email breaking down lever one. So there's 3 levers and growth levers in the playbook. We break down each one. So in case maybe you don't want to sit down and read 87 pages in one sitting, we're going to give you some digestible content from each of the growth levers. Then at the end, there's like a soft sell. Hey, do you need an email marketing platform? Or please follow us on social media and our blog. We truly believe in giving value before we even start a relationship and see if you need an email marketing platform. And we're not going to hound you. We're not going to call you. If you find value in it, that's great. Share it with someone else. And if you are looking for an email marketing platform, and I'm talking in general, hopefully people will sign up for eye contact. And that's what assets can do for you is you take time to create these powerful assets. And the only thing you ask for is contact information, enough to develop a relationship, usually first name and email address. And you use that to help grow your list. I know we have another comment from Kurt here. Kurt's pretty active. You're our MVQ, most valuable questioner, I guess, so far. What is a good open rate? Mackenzie, if I had to ask you, because you said you're a little bit newer to email marketing, I've only been doing it for like 12 to 15 years. What would you say is a good open rate?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, just right off the top of my head, this could be totally off. But I guess from my point of view, I would think if I'm sending it out, I would want at least like maybe between like 30 and 50% to open it, just because it's like, okay, half I feel like, of course, you'd want 100%, but I feel like a great or a good start would be between 30 and 50, because there's room to grow from there where you're not like, okay, no one's opening my emails. Like, do I suck at sending emails?
Mm-hmm.
But you have enough room behind you to say, okay, people are looking. Maybe how can I adjust it to get from 30 to 50 to maybe, 60 to 80?
If I had a 50% open rate, I think I'd be ready to retire. 50% an average, across all industries would be awesome. The industry average is 20%, folks. If you're about 20, you're doing pretty well. But here's what I want to say. Don't take that as where you need to be. If you're at 15%, try to get to 18 in 3 months. If you're at 35%, try to get to 40, 45 in the next 3 months. Benchmark yourself and strive for improvements. And maybe not every email will have a high open rate, because it's also the subject line and the content and the frequency that you're sending at. And if you do want industry specific average open rates, go to smartinsights.com. That's smartinsights.com. I'll post that in the chat. Insights.com. I can't type in, I have to say it out loud, otherwise I won't get it. But also, iContact has put together a subject line guide. We have 501 examples of good and bad subject lines broken down by industry, type of email, holiday emails. We even did like a holiday version. I'm going to drop a version to the SLG or subject line guide in the chat as well. We're just, when we didn't plan on offering all these resources, but hey, we have them. And if you don't read them, you won't know how to become a better marketer other than listening to Mac and I.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's the curse of knowledge too, right? Like because you probably know more than somebody maybe that just started a business and has never done digital marketing. Maybe one of those people are watching us now and they need our help. But then again, there's somebody maybe on a call that can give us advice on, hey, you forgot to give us this important way to grow your email marketing list, and they're going to offer our audience some value. That's that collaboration I mentioned earlier. Work with partners to help grow your list too. Maybe it's a vendor or a contractor or something, or work with an influencer to help grow your list. I love the participation. And Kurt, if you have any other thoughts, ideas, questions, let us know. Susan, please let us know. Sandy, haven't heard from you in a little bit. Hopefully you're out there creating that landing page with that sign up form for that artist that paints landscapes, doesn't do hardscapes, but used to, right? I think I got that right. Mackenzie and I are both like high energy. Hopefully everybody can handle us.
I am from Las Vegas, so it's not quite 11 o'clock a.m. here. And I don't know if anyone else is on the West Coast, but the fact that I have this much energy at this time of the day, it's just amazing. It's wonderful.
Here's good question from Jamie, asking for a mobile phone. Sure, right? Now, I'd say be careful with asking for a phone. It depends, right? Do you want to call them? Do you want to send text messages to them? When you're acquiring a phone number for business reasons, there's legislation or laws around that. If you do something wrong and you didn't get permission to call them, you can get in serious trouble. I think the minimum fine is like $1,500 per infraction. So it depends, right? Some people want to get an email address, not an email, a phone number to do what's called robo dialing, right? They want to use a machine to actually dial the calls. You have to have an explicit opt-in for that. So just, JB, it really depends, but it could be a good way. Maybe it's, you do estimates, or it's a free consultation and you're asking the phone number so you can call them to give them that information. That might be okay. Just, I would say, spell it out in whatever web page or form that you have, what you want to do with that information. And also test whether or not making it mandatory helps. If you make it not mandatory and you ask for it, people give it to you. There's that KLT, right? I'm going to trust Jamie with my phone number, or maybe you're doing it for a client, I don't know, but I'm going to trust Jamie with that phone number. I hope he does the right thing with it. Hopefully that helps answer that question. But if you have more details around why you might be asking for a phone number, we can definitely help you out. 3-4 years ago, there was this thing where text marketing is the next big, huge thing. It really has not caught on yet, just because this is a device that people feel like they're safe and secure and people shouldn't intrude on their lives. That's why Apple, AT&T, Verizon, they've all come out with these anti-spam tools, filters that help block out unwanted calls, because it's not really like emails. When I choose to go to my inbox, there's emails there, right? Yeah, some of it's spam, but I'm choosing to go to my email and I may or may not read an email that's in there. Whereas the phone, it's going to bother me. I have a pop-up, whatever, notification, or junking up, all the fun jokes and dad jokes I have going on with my friends and family, right? You don't want to intrude in people's lives without them giving you strict permission. Great question. Keep them coming. Any more other questions?
I guess also to kind of add on to what you were saying too as a response is, I don't know, Jamie, if you have an iPhone or an Android, but for me, I'm an iPhone user. And one thing also that happens in text messages, and I believe it's a setting, you can turn it on and off, but sometimes people don't bother to mess with their settings. So it's just kind of how it is and you got to go with the flow. But my text messages are separated, where it's people that I know and then people that I don't. So sometimes there's been instances where when I give my phone number to a company and I'm waiting for a promotion to come through, I actually don't see it because it goes in the unknown folder and I don't get acknowledged. So it's almost kind of like the spam folder in texting rather than just the email. So yeah, I would just say, like Hank said, be really, really careful with that. The other thing too is that, I think just, again, the phone number is very kind of more of a personal bit, like the email, it doesn't feel as weird giving your email out. You're like, okay, I'm supposed to do that. That's how I get like the newsletters and the promotions. But giving your phone number away feels much more like they could just call me and text me at any time. And I don't know, that's kind of giving a lot. So just be careful with how you do it. And I think, again, it really depends on how you use that information and really spelling it out and being very, very careful, so that people know exactly what you're going to be doing with their phone number. Because I don't know, I also think about when I give my phone number to a company, I'm like, am I going to start getting a bunch more spam calls? Because somehow like that always seems to line up. So just something to think about.
I think we need to revoke Kurt's award here. I heard that not all opens are discovered, are some opens missed by eye contact. Well, I think we're at time and we need to wrap up this show. No, just kidding. Kurt, this is something that should be discussed. Number one, when an email is sent out, and this is all providers, there's a tracking pixel that's put into that email. It's usually 1 pixel by 1 pixel, not really seen. And if that image loads, it's counted as an open. That means if I'm using, say, certain versions of Outlook, I can block all the images. I can read the email, but if I did not load the images, it will not count as an open. That's important to know because that can skew your emails. Not a lot. The percentage of people that block images is very minimal. But when iOS 15 came out over a year ago now, they did something called MPP, mail privacy protection, I believe it's what it's called. And what they're doing is if you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, you have a Mac, and you use the built-in email application on one of those devices. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's, iCloud, that's me.com, and, stuff like that. Yeah, but you can also add your Gmail, your Yahoo in there, and any email address you want to check into that email client. What Apple's doing now is whether or not I open an email counts as an open. So if I put my phone down on a desk and Mac sends me an email right now, and I'm using the Apple provided email client, I count as an open without even touching my phone. They're doing that to protect and also preload the content to make it faster and also ensure your privacy. Then, and Kurt, I see you're an eye contact customer. You've been with us for years, so appreciate you being here today. And hopefully, yeah, you are getting some value out of our conversation today. But list hygiene, right? A lot of times we've talked about this and we've had webinars, we've had blog posts. We talk blue in the face about keeping your email marketing list clean, because for those that might not have been here from the beginning, we spoke about people not opening your emails or ignoring them, hurting you and hurting your ability to get into the inbox in the future. The best way to negate that is to clean your lists. Maybe identify people who've been on your list for 6 months who haven't opened for 6 months. Or if you only send once a month, maybe every year, look at people who haven't opened in a year. And you either just say goodbye, I'll pat you on the back if you just delete them, because what marketer wants to do that? But maybe, and Mackenzie, when she started, she saw an example re-engagement campaign I built, and she kind of laughed out loud and almost spit her drink out when she read it because of the examples I had in there. But send a series of 3 emails. The first email is, are we breaking up? Right? Question mark. I don't know about you, but if somebody's breaking up with me, I'll probably open that email to find out why. Was it something I did? Was it them? What's going on? They can't handle a long distance relationship. What is it? What's happening? They'll get open it, and you be honest with them. Hey, we noticed you haven't been opening our emails. We want to make sure you still want our emails. So some people will ignore that one too. But the folks that you pleaded with, begged with, and tried to get them back on, they may engage with that email and you keep them. And then the second one's like, well, here's the divorce papers, right? Signed, sealed, and delivered. So you do 2 or 3 emails. Then if they don't open any of those, you simply remove them. But if you've been listening to me, if I have an Apple device, I'm counting as an open. So now all of a sudden it's like, well, Hank's always opening my emails. He's my MVP. He's going to buy from me someday. Maybe I've never seen any of your emails. I would say really look at your clicks. Somebody who hasn't opened or clicked in 6 months, hasn't opened or clicked in a year. That's kind of the new advice to give to people. And more importantly, when you're looking at your metrics, your open should not be your North Star. Your 50% open rate that Mackenzie's always striving for should not be the North Star. You need to look at opens. You need to look at clicks. You need to look at click to open rate. You need to look at unsubscribes, bounces. Look at it all and just try to make improvements. The positive things need to go up and the negative things need to go down. All right. Look at this. We're getting more and more questions. Susan, so the landing page is on a website where you put your lead. Yes. So what this means is you can have a landing page that is part of your website infrastructure. Like basically you go into, let's say you're using Wix or GoDaddy or whatever. You can go in and create a new page that's a landing page. But why it's a landing page is that content on there, it needs to resonate with your audience. It needs to convert them. Specifically in this situation, get them to give you an email address for something. So why would I want to sign up for your email newsletter? You can also have like a sign up form on your front page or a pop-up, but a landing page, like for a gated asset, is specifically designed to get people to give you the information for the asset. You can also create a landing page in iContact. If for some reason you just want to spin something up quickly, you have to wait 6 months for your admin to create one. You can do that in iContact as well. Let's say you had an event coming up and you want people to register for it. You can spin up a landing page in iContact, or there's like third-party landing page providers. Spin up a page, put the form on there, and go from there. So they used to call them squeeze pages because it squeezes money or information out of people. But really what it is, it's a way for you to get SEO by having certain topics on there that people can find through search, or you're linking directly to a page. Example I always get is like, going back to sneakers. I love color floral sneakers. If I got an email from someone that says, hey, we have a new pink floral pattern Converse that you might want to check out. And you know what? They're on sale. And now if the link goes back to their main site and then I have to go to sneakers, men's sneakers, floral design, then pick the style that was in the picture in the email, I'm probably going to leave somewhere along the way. But if that link goes directly to that project page, that's a landing page as well. Mac, further thoughts?
No, I completely agree. And I can absolutely relate to that example. So if I click on something and it's a product, or we'll just stick with the product example. But if I go on and they say like, oh, it's something specific that I'm looking at, like right now, something that sells like crazy is these like Stanley Cups. I don't know if any of you guys have seen these cups, but as soon as, they're back in stock, every subject line is Stanley Cups back in stock. And then all of a sudden the landing page, it's like, it'll take you to the Stanley site and it'll show, some of the cups, but they're like kind of past, another sponsored area. And it's like, oh, if I'm trying to find this certain pattern or this certain look, or maybe there's like a new version of it out. If I go on to try to find this cup, it's like, if it's not taking me directly there, I'm just going to be like, okay, I can't do this. So yeah, I think the direct landing page is a great move.
All right. Jamie also said, oh, wait. First, Sandy says Stanley Cups originate in Canada. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder if hockey's popular in Canada. We have a bunch of team members that live in Canada too. That's no shock to me. That
is so funny.
Where did the what do you want to call that? The tradition of filling it up with beer and drinking it. Did that come from Canada too, or is that an American thing? I don't know. Kurt says, Jamie says it's better to ask for less information to get a weekly newsletter. True. Yeah. First name and email address is probably all you need. Maybe even just the email address. But let's just say you're giving insurance quotes or something. Obviously, you'll need more information for that, and you can do that. Or they have these things called progressive forms too. You can ask for the first name and an email address, and then when they click submit, we're like, haha, tricked you, right? And it goes to the form either reappears or you go to another page and ask for more information. And they say, well, I don't want to give that information, and they leave. At least you have the email address and the first name. You can start that relationship, maybe get that data later, or if they're nice and like they know, like, and trust you, they will give you that information. Canadians like beer for sure. That is a quotable right there.
You should just leave that one up on the screen the whole day.
So Mackenzie and I have this goal. I shared the small business growth playbook earlier. Mackenzie and I came up with a number of what we hope to get with downloads, and maybe everybody here can help with that. Share it on your social media platforms because we want to get this goal. Our director of marketing, he came down to North Carolina. He's in Toronto, so he is in Canada. He brought me a 6-pack of Molson. I think it's Molson. I think Canadian beer. I think I gotta go back and look at it. It's in the fridge, but there's a note so nobody can touch it. Every certain amount of downloads we get, I'm allowed to have one of those beers. So I want to try it, but I need help getting there. And then we need to ship Mackenzie something. She's in Vegas.
I was gonna say I didn't get any beer.
We'll have to get you something.
Let's help Hank. Everyone, just download the playbook, check it out. Let Hank have some beer. You know, Canadians love beer. Hank loves beer.
I'll happily ship you the beer if our director sends me poutine.
Wait, but can I have poutine? Can I have just a little bit of both?
Yeah, Molson Canadian. Okay.
Okay.
But I need to drink Big Rock is what Sandy's saying. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I need to try. I think I've had Molson when I was in my teens, probably, maybe, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember it. Thanks for the emojis there, Jamie. Awesome. This is a great crowd today. I love it. This is why I love live events more than webinars. Webinars is like everybody's zooming and multitasking and doing what they need to do, but these folks are really getting involved here.
I know this is my first time on live. I'm having fun. Talking about Canadian beer. This rocks.
Well, folks, I just want to remind you, if you're not a customer, like Kurt, you can go to eyecontact.com, check us out, sign up for our newsletter at eyecontact.com/monthly-newsletter. We still need to put a pop-up on our website or a forum on our blog, like I mentioned, because we just launched that, I think, late last week, relaunched it because we took a break. But current customers have always been getting a newsletter. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're playing around with TikTok. That's where all the cool kids are hanging out. So we thought we'd be there too.
They're cool. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if there's any last minute questions. I don't think so. We are getting towards the top of the hour, and Mac and I actually have some work to do and can't always have fun like this, but.
Oh, we do? Well, this is it for the day. We don't get, okay.
All right. Which link was that, Susan? I think if you're talking about the newsletter, it's eyecontact.com/monthly-newsletter. Most stuff can be found on our site, or just Google it, like the small business growth playbook. You can search eye contact small business growth playbook, eye contact subject line guide. It'll all, that's how I actually found it, because I didn't memorize it or didn't have it bookmarked. But with that, Mac and I want to say have a great day. Make sure to grow your list, and more importantly, make sure you send more emails, because you can grow your business using email marketing.
Send more awesome emails.
Cheers to you, Sandy. Cheers to everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, y'all.